Hey guys, Rob's Workshop here. Just want to kind of show you something kind of cool. I was a long time Magic the Gathering player for 20 years or so, way back in the day. These were the stuff that took thousands of hours away from my childhood, probably. But anyways, I had a lot laying around, and I know that left-handed backplates for the Ibanez series are very hard to find, so I decided, what the hell, I'm going to try to make a backplate, and these ended up being a fantastic medium to make them out of, and it ended up being way cooler, I don't even know why I said that, awesome, wicked awesome to do this, and they turned out awesome. Look at this one. This is one of the backplates made out of cards from Legends. I know the purists out there, the collectors, if they saw this, they'd be like, what the fuck are you doing chopping up all these old school cards? Well, I can honestly tell you that the cards that I use are not worth a damn. They're $1, $2, dollar, it's these like four for like $2. But they're super cool, and they're super old school, and they look great. Some of the problems that I run into building these, these are going to end up being fairly expensive to build. You can see how thick they are. I have this one. I was experimenting with brushing the copper on the back of them. To show you the quality and the skill that I'm trying to put into these and learn from in making these beautiful pieces. Hopefully, these will go into production for sale eventually. The good cards end up being the top layer. This is a backplate that I did, a trim cavity backplate that I did. It is made out of magic cards, as you can see here. This is a template. But I'm also experimenting with non-magic cards as well, and this actually came out even cooler than I thought it would have as well. And old school movie posters look wicked awesome. Thanks to people like Kirk Hammett, getting shit like that airbrush on their guitars, and it is wicked cool. I'm not gonna lie. But these are some of the backplates. These are some of the prototypes. These are all prototypes. I've never made any for sale. I actually was experimenting. This is a dingus egg that I carved out and put over Chromium's face, and I wanted to see, doing inlay work with them. It wouldn't be possible, and it really is. It just takes really steady hand and a super crazy sharp knife. But the biggest hurdle that I run into is the flatness of the cards. The older the cards, the better they are. These beta cards have like no play on them. They are flat. Arabian Nights, little tiny bit here or there, but flat. Beta Legends are fantastically flat, even flatter than beta. Unlimited, the curl 4th edition is good, but the worst, which pisses me off, is this filler cards I was hoping to use are absolutely horrible. You can see, garbage compared to these are revised one, a little bit there, but sorry for the interruption. 3-year-old decided to run in on me. But anyways, the old cards are the good cards to use because they lie a lot flatter. They're a lot flatter. This revised is not bad. It's pretty flat, but when you start to look at, like, this is Homelands, I was really hoping to be able to get these in bulk and be able to just make the meat of the plates out of these to keep the cost down, but it's not going to be the case. This is a slightly better one, but a lot of them have a heavy curvature to them, and what that does is as you add layer to layer, it exaggerates per layer. Then when you're finally done with the product itself has a curve because these are curved, and I've gone through a lot of experimentation on trying to correct that, and it's next to impossible. It's just the nature of these cards. These have a different coating. I've noticed that anything after pretty much revised, they have a different coating on them. This much slicker. It's a heavier, not heavier, but a thicker coating. And then after sets that had the rarity symbols started to get a much shinier coating. Obviously it's a foil, but the coating itself, these cards are actually thicker. And here's a good one. Here's an example. These actually are a lot shinier, and the glue does not like to stick on them very good, and it tends to run through real quick. These just are perfect. Especially if they're slightly played, like these deserts, obviously they're played. because the coating is worn and there's, the coating is micro scratch, the glue's going to stick to them like crazy. But the thing is I have to use older cards, and the older cards are more expensive. Revised I can probably get 25 cents a piece to $1 a piece. Same thing with Legends, around the same for commons, only commons. No good cards. I will never use good cards for filler. These again are all finished cards. The card that faces the top layer. I'm gonna have a Walking Dead themed one. I'm gonna have a Fireball Channel themed one. Some beta ones for a good red. I love the deep red on these, so it's gonna match one of my red guitars. But a lot of the filler has to be made out of the better cards, and it's a bummer. I can go through the Homelands. I bought a bulk of 500 Homelands just to try it out. Super cheap, obviously. Homelands, Fallen Empires, all those are junk. But unfortunately, not the case. Darn. Oh well. Anyways, looking at the cards, and this is, like I said, this is the back plate. And I'm gonna try different tessellations. The like puzzle pieces or whatnot. It's gonna take a long time to carve it all out, which is why I was experimenting with this one to see it. It's totally doable. I have some Jester's masks coming. I was gonna cut out the Jester's mask and try to implant it somewhere or something. So just these ideas, and I think that they're going to be really awesome. I've had like 12 or 13 prototypes now, and every single one of them comes out better and better. But the problem is there's two problems. One is getting a consistency of how it's cut, because right now I literally trim them by hand. I mean, it takes hours to fit them into the guitar. I have the template cut out, but it still takes a lot of trimming. So getting that down right. I'm also thinking about maybe trying out some sort of like a satin poly coat that I can spray over to protect them. Because even though, it is hard as a rock, it's absolutely super strong, the edges will eventually start to kind of rub, as you can kind of see here. You want to kind of protect that as in the shine. As you cut these cards, the X-Acto knives tend to just kind of flare out the edges a little bit. You got to go back over them and trim them down. It's a lot of work. A lot of work to get this so that it is flat like a pancake and straight so that it fits in the guitar. If it's flat and beautiful. But I'm going to try all the different kinds of cards. Star Wars cards, obviously these movie cards, I get horror cards, sticker sets, something cool. I was thinking Garbage Pail Kids, stuff like from our childhood. But the Magic cards is where it started, and the artwork on these are just simply amazing. The colors are just gorgeous, and like I said, they're not rare cards. They're not anything super special. Beta obviously are rare, even in the common side of it, but they made a lot of those versus the rares and the uncommons. So let me know what you think of the project, and hopefully I'll get these started for sale soon enough. I just have to finish getting the correct templates and getting them cut right so that guaranteed fit as soon as you get it at your door. So yeah, cool. All right, thanks guys.